Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing this morning? You're watching Coffee with Ray. Mm, good coffee. It's cold outside. Yeah, here it is 48 degrees here in Virginia, and my fingers are all cold. So, out on my morning walk this morning, and really pondering and thinking about what to talk about this morning and stuff. It's interesting. I woke up, usually I wake up and I have clear thought ideas of what I want to talk about and everything. And it wasn't until I was actually sitting outside and just relaxing my body after the walk and such that I really came up with something that kind of like hit me in when you get hit with 3D Technicolor ideas and everything like that. I got hit with one of those, and I was like, wow, man, that's true, that's interesting. So Desh shirts one DCA shirts. I don't know how to say your name, bud, but good morning to you. So hey, Joe, and hey, Holly, how you doing? But it's interesting. This past weekend, I talked a lot about are you prepared for the Great Depression? And if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I'll link it into the end screen so that you can watch it and everything. But I've been doing boatloads of research on the Great Depression, and I've been talking to people. I've got several folks in my church who are rather up there in age, and yet they lived through the Great Depression when they were kids. And it's interesting that all of them had pretty good childhoods. So hey, Kim, how you doing? In talking to these people and in doing research and so forth, the big thing that really stuck out in my mind in all of this is the strong mental fortitude. And uh, like it or not, we've become soft in our days. This generation, or the years of from probably about the 60s on, instead of creating strong men and women, what has happened is that a lot of people have become soft. I mean, it's interesting, now today in schools, and you see these, little t-ball kids playing baseball and everything. Not, basically everybody gets a trophy just for showing up. And so what we've been creating in society are soft people. And I think the powers that be want us to be soft. So, softer to the individual, the easier it is to manipulate and turn them into sheeple and or worker bees or drones or slaves and stuff. So, we've become addicted to sitting on our couch and watching Netflix and playing Xbox and chowing down on chips and stuff like that. And so we've become soft. And I think something that has become forgotten in the days that we lived in is mental fortitude. And that's something that really stood out when I was doing all this research, and I'm still doing research. I'm just really digging into the Great Depression, because Solomon said that there is nothing new under the sun, and that basically man repeats himself over and over again. You can read that in Ecclesiastes 1, and that's Ray paraphrased. But what I'm seeing is that we have lost the ability to become mentally hard, or our mental fortitude, our grit, our toughness, and everything, our wherewithal, our ability to push through the hardship and everything and come out through the other side. And the big thing that I have really noticed in the prepper community is so many people are depending on their beans, bullets, and band-aids in some folks' Bibles, and the Bible is something that it will help us become mentally strong. But so many people have become so dependent on their preps and all their stuff and everything like that. The one thing that they're not exercising, the one thing that they're not focusing on is the mental fortitude, the mental toughness and things. I mean, I see so many people give up or start moving forward and just quit. Or I mean, just great example, and we're coming up on it here. Everybody makes these New Year's resolutions and everything. I'm going to lose 20 pounds or 15 pounds, whatever. Or I'm going to start going to the gym, or I'm going to start doing this, or I'm going to start doing that, and things. And they hang for a couple weeks, and then they start to taper off and fizzle out. And it's that sort of mentality that has been nurtured and created and nurtured. And now so many people today don't have the mental wherewithal to really push through and maintain determination. And this is something that I've been working on for the last several years, is being mentally tougher, mentally challenging myself constantly. Right now, as you guys know, I'm doing what's called 75 hard. And this is a very, it's hard. It's a very tough mental challenge. It's physical, but it is really mental, learning how to battle yourself. You're at war with yourself with this challenge. And it's interesting. The originator of 75 hard says, those two voices that sit on your shoulder, that you see the little devil and the little angel and everything. Well, what he calls them is the boss voice and the bitch voice. And the problem with what's happened today is more and more people have been listening to the bitch voice and just saying, okay, forget it. Who cares? I can't do it, blah, 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 instead of listening to the boss voice and powering through. Now it's interesting. This past, what was it? Yesterday. Was it yesterday? Man, days are just like, coming by. I think it was yesterday that I was late for my show. Yeah, it was. It was yesterday. And it was interesting. I was battling the bitch voice because I was doing my walk. I woke up super late, and it was like, oh no, I got to do my 45-minute walk, and I don't have time, and yada yada yada. And so I was thinking, oh wow, well, I'm not going to make it back in time to do my show at 9 Eastern and all this other stuff. And well, I'll just skip it. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. And then my boss voice woke up to me and said, no, you're going to do your show. It's no biggie. Just do it 15 minutes later. And so the boss voice helps you find solutions and helps you power through the times that we want to give up. But it was interesting, because even I still battle with the bitch voice. And so it's just pushing forward, doing what you need to do, not giving up, not compromising. Compromise is the killer of dreams. And I forget who said that, but someone someone famous said that. Compromise is the killer of dreams. And it's true. When you're willing to compromise with yourself and things, then you're going to basically always curtail or kowtow to the bitch voice. And the reason I'm talking about all this is because more and more I'm starting to see how many preppers are just depending upon their preps and not really doing hard exercises up here and in here and everything. And we need to get stronger as we push forward, because it's interesting. I was listening to one of my financial, videos. I listen to all kind of stuff when I'm on my walk. And so I was listening to a financial guy on my walk the other day, and he was talking about the recession. And he says, like it or not, we are now in a recession. The numbers are there. It's proven we are in a recession. Doesn't matter what the current administration wants to say and how they juggle the numbers and everything like that. We are in a recession. And he then, asked this other financial guy, well, how long do you think that we're going to last in the recession? And history shows us that a recession usually lasts about 18 months. And but this guy that he was talking to Yeah, because this is one financial guy talking to another financial guy. And he was talking to him and he says, "Well, I don't think, it's going to be a lot longer." And he's saying that he thinks that the recession is going to last 3 to 5 years. Well, when I hear that, that tells me it's not just a recession, it's depression. And because it took us, the Great Depression took us about 10, 15 years actually to get out of. And so that is a long time to weather the storm. And that's what I think that many of us are lacking and everything is weathering the storm. And this is something like I said, I've been learning how to weather the storm for the last 2, 3 years. And it's a slow process. It's learning to battle yourself and everything. But anyways, he says one of the reasons why he's saying this is that we had ultra low interest rates for too long. We have had inflation for too long. We have had, other financial issues too long. And because we've had these things too long, it's caused that 18-month time frame to expand even more. And this is something that I've been saying for a while too, is I think that we are going to see economic collapse, and I think it's going to be a storm that's going to last quite some time. And unless you have the mental fortitude to push through that, then basically you're going to end up in the corner in the fetal position, sucking your thumb, even if you have all these beans, bullets, and band-aids. And so, one of the things that I think that people really need to focus on is mental fortitude, mental toughness, pushing through, killing that bitch voice and start listening to the boss voice, doing those small things and everything. It's like yesterday, I could have skipped out on the show or not done the show or whatever like that and everything. But my boss voice says, no, don't compromise. You're compromising with yourself. Don't do it. Just make the show later. And so when you start listening to your boss voice more often, solutions and you're able to reach your goals, you're able to achieve more things and everything, listening to the boss voice versus capitulating to the bitch voice. And again, this is something I've been working on for quite some time. And it's interesting to see how your brain starts to act and starts to function and starts to push forward and things. Other things that I've been doing in my life, I practice a system called Core 4. I've been doing that now for 3, 4 years, and it helps me organize my day. It helps me remain balanced in my life and things. And so this is something that's working for me. And so constantly pushing forward, achieving your goals, doing these things, because when a depression hits, when hard times hit, you really have to think and look at yourself. Do you have a strong persistence? Do you have a strong mind? Do you have strong fortitude? Other things that I noticed with the Depression era folks, and then also talking to some of these other people, is they had a very strong family unit. Do you eat dinner together anymore? Or do everybody sitting on their phones? Or does everybody separate when they come home and just, play Xbox and Nintendo and watch, Netflix all the time and everything? Do you have that strong family unit? Another thing too is, and this is something that a lot of the people who survived the Great Depression, got through that storm, had a very strong relationship with God. Are you reading your Bible? Are you praying? Are you, attending church and everything? And this is something I see with a number of Christian preppers, is that, oh man, the churches today are no good. They're all this, that, or the other. And I really want to challenge you. Find a church. If you are not in church, find a church and then dedicate yourself to it, set roots, because like it or not, a church family is a family. There's times I wanted to slap my brother around and everything like that when we were growing up, or there's times that you get mad at your parents or whatever, but no matter what, they're family and you always come back to family. And so I really, really encourage you, if you haven't found a church family, if you aren't embedded into a church, then do it, because these are one of the things that will help you get through the storm. But the biggest thing that I'm deeply concerned with so many preppers and everything is, what is their mental fortitude? Do they listen to the bitch voice or do they listen to the boss voice? And if they do, where are they going? How are they heading moving forward and everything? Like I said, it's these are things that I've been working on myself for some time now. And I continue. I mean, I still have that bitch voice, like I said, this Sunday. And I haven't, and the reason I bring this up, I haven't had the bitch voice talk to me, in a long time. And it was just interesting that even when you're not really, thinking about it or something, that little bitch voice comes up and starts telling you all these things. Skip the show. You don't have to do that many push-ups, or cut your walk by 15, or whatever. And your bitch voice constantly, creates that mentality of capitulation. And now more than ever, we need to start listening to the boss voice versus the bitch voice. And so again, there's a lot of things that I've been doing to better that, and I've been doing this for years. And so if you're not doing these things now, if you're not strengthening your mind, if you're not, in church, if you have a weak family unit and everything, then I hate to tell it to you folks, but you're probably gonna, suffer the storm. And when you look at pictures of the Great Depression and everything like that, you see all these down and out families. Well, a lot of these down and out families, from the research that I've done, you know, didn't have the mental fortitude, didn't have a strong family unit, and had zero relationship with God. And so these are three big things that, if you're not practicing now, if you're not doing these things now, then odds are that you're not going to have these mental habits to get you through the storm. And I know I may be pissing some of you guys off. Oh no, we're gonna make it. Meh, 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 meh. No, mental fortitude is a muscle that must be exercised. And if you don't exercise that muscle, it will diminish. It's like shooting. If you don't go out to the range often, then you're going to, lose your shooting ability. It is a skill that diminishes over time. Languages. I used to speak Spanish really well. I used to speak German really well. Well, I don't, there's no one around here to speak Spanish with or German with or any. This is a skill that I've noticed that I have been losing, because if you don't exercise these skills, they will diminish. Another skill that you need to really have is faith. Faith moves mountains, but if you don't exercise that skill, and again, this is what I talked about in yesterday's show, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, that if you don't exercise these skills, this faith, then when crap hits the fan and rubber's meeting the road, then those muscles that you are now going to need are not going to be there, or they're just going to be very weak. And then you're going to, hate life and stuff, and be going through a storm that is going to basically kick your butt. And it's going to take time going through the storm and a lot of pain going through that storm to grow these muscles, to grow these ideas and this mental fortitude, this grit, this persistence and everything. And so I really want to encourage you to really start looking into your mental fortitude. What are you doing to feed your brain? What are you doing to become mentally tough? What battles or what challenges are you doing to really help you move forward, so that when the storm hits, you'll weather the storm, you and your family? Your preps are your arc, but your mental fortitude is what's going to get you through. Because even though you have strong preps and everything, and even though you're on the arc, there's a chance that you'll come up against, storms and stuff like that, that will basically cause you to curl up in the fetal position, putting your thumb in the mouth and hanging out in the corner, because you just don't have it within you. And so beans, bullets, and band-aids just ain't enough. The Bible will help you, but that's just one part. Exercise your mental fortitude. Start doing this. If you have any questions on what I've been doing and how I do it, like how I do the core 4, 75 hard, and it's interesting, Cynthia is doing what's called 75 soft. and she's been sick and all this other stuff, but she's still working to get mental fortitude. So she's doing something called 75 soft, and it's been really working for her. She's been doing great on it. I'm encouraging her. I'm pushing her forward. She's seen me do 75 hard, and so she's saying, "Well, I need to do something too." So, let's do these things so that when the storm happens, because like it or not, these things are, we've become so short term, aware that we've forgotten how to act long term. And it's that mental fortitude, that grit, and that persistence that will get us through the long term. Because again, I am I concerned about nukes? Yeah. Am I concerned about EMP? Yeah. Am I concerned about, the dead rising up and eating our brains? Yeah. But by preparing for a Great Depression and doing all that, you know what? You're going to also be prepared for nukes. You're going to be prepared for EMP. You're going to be prepared for the zombie apocalypse and stuff. But by focusing on what is reality, reality is that we are here now. We are in a depression. I mean, into a recession. I think we're going to be moving into a depression, and by focusing and doing what we need to do and start getting mentally tough, that's what's going to get us through the storm. So a lot of folks in here. So let's see here. We got Dana Taylor, Heather, Joan, Kim, Holly. Let's see. Good morning, Ray, Heather. Hey, good morning, Heather. I wake up and thank the Lord for another day. Good job, Dana. Joan Luffluff looking into SAT allergies. Good job. What other things here? Karen. Hey, Karen, how you doing? My fortitude was forged with my husband having a seasonal job requiring me to prepare for the winter and spring seasons. That and after his death, but not having income for 6 months. Good job, Joan. Yeah, and these are these things that will help you push through. These are things that you can either do it through the storm, like what Joan has done here. She's lived through the storm. She had to do it and learn these things and everything. Or you can start doing these things now. Start learning to take command over the bitch voice versus and listening to the boss voice versus allowing that bitch voice to grab you and you start listening to those things. So, but I appreciate you guys coming in and listening to me this morning is greatly appreciated. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, and then ring that little bell. Help me, please. I am trying to get to 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. And so if you're watching this show right now, and maybe you're watching it on Facebook, jump over to YouTube and give me a subscription, subscribe to my channel and things. Help me do this. I need help. Like it or not, being prepared takes a village. You don't just get to the top. You don't become this great, thing all by yourself. Sooner or later, you need the village's help. And that's another skill and another thing that I saw in the Great Depression. They leaned on their neighbors to help each other. They were in it together. And so it takes a village. And so this is what I'm asking you. Please help me get to 1,400 and subscribe to this channel. And in fact, do me a favor right now. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And that helps me in the algorithms, help me raise higher in the YouTube ratings and everything like that. And then finally, if you do have questions, you want to know what I'm doing and everything that I've been doing for several years, and reach out to me, let me know, ray@raymondmoore.com, ray@raymondmoore.com, and let me help you. I'll at least point you in the directions of what's helping me. I read a lot of books. One of my goals is to read a book a week. And so far I've been doing great on that one and things, but reach out, let me know, and I'll be glad to share any information that I have that's helping me become better and a better prepper, a better husband, a better father, and a better, community member. So, but, I really appreciate it. And I just thank you so much. Raymond Moore, Kilted Prepper. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless, and kilt on.